It's time for the Las Vegas Sportsline.
Money won is twice as sweet as money earned.
All right, here we go. It's the Monday edition of the Las Vegas Sportsline. A brand new week, and boy, what a weekend it was in sports. Marco DAngelo's here. I'm Dave Cokin. It is great to have you with us. Sorry, Platinum pushing the buttons and keeping us on the air. Chuck Esposito's normally with us on Mondays, but corporate stuff today for Chuck. He's busy, so he'll join us on Friday. And, of course, we'll have Jeff Sherman on tomorrow from Superbook USA. We'll have a lot of stuff on the PGA tomorrow with Jeff. On Wednesday, as always, Jeff Davis, Director of Trading at Caesars Entertainment. Jeff's always a great listen. Thursday, the guys from CG Technology Sportsbooks, either Tony DiTomaso or Will Bernanke. And then we'll have Chuck on Friday, so it's going to be a busy week. Marco, you and I get the solo today. We've got a lot to talk about, and I think we can begin with the bounce heard round the world. I mean, you know, look, it wasn't a great shot, but all that matters is does it go in? And after hitting the rim 4 times, it went through, and Kawhi Leonard propels the Raptors into the Eastern Conference Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. He's been, I'm not taking anything away from him because he has been absolutely phenomenal, and he's the reason Toronto's still playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dave, did you see some of the shots that were on Twitter yesterday from, you know, just the free shot of everybody looking, their eyes open, mouth open. You see people in the first and second, third row. You know, it was just, it was amazing.
The look on some of the faces is they know it's short.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no, we're going to lose. And then we won.
The great game. Philadelphia, we talk about this, but you could say the same for Toronto in this situation about teams in the NBA, how you have to, you know, earn your chops, so to speak. You got to go through the process. Now, Toronto, 2 years in a row, has been the best team. You know, Milwaukee was the best team, but they were second all year. Right. Last year, they were the best team. They couldn't get over that hurdle last year. Now you get past the second round. It's uncharted water for Toronto. Give them credit.
Not uncharted water for their best player, though. That could be really big.
And Gasol. I think the difference of when they, you know what you had with Toronto all year, but I think the final piece of the puzzle was when they added Gasol. This defense just became even nastier than it was. And that's something that we haven't seen a lot of in these playoffs so far is good defense. And Toronto has played it all the way through.
What's interesting now is they're going to go into this next series as the underdog, good-sized underdog, in fact. I'm going to be curious to see how Milwaukee responds as a team that's not used to being in this role as a good-sized favorite to win the Eastern Conference. In terms of pressure, there's no more pressure on the Raptors. They're supposed to lose now. They could be really dangerous here.
And as we talk about the teams taking their growth steps in the playoffs, both of these teams are, you know, in uncharted. How long has it been since Milwaukee's been significant?
Let's just say it's been a while.
You
but they've also got this. Well, you could have a heck of a debate here. The Greek Freak or Kawhi. I think Giannis. I'm going to get that right eventually. San Diego Chargers. No, Los Angeles Chargers. He's probably, to me, at this point, I think the most talented guy in the league, to be honest with you. But in terms of all-around play and that experience factor and the clutch gene, if you will, boy, Leonard's really tough.
If you asked me right now, between the two, not going forward, you know, like for 3 years from now, if I wanted one player, if his head's screwed on straight and he comes to play, you know who it is. Kawhi Leonard is, I think, the most complete player right now. But Giannis got room to grow yet. His offensive game is good.
If he stays healthy, man.
When he learns that he can nail it from out, you know, he can take people away from the basket and become more of a presence, you know, with, you know, other than just around the bucket. Well, he's going to be a complete player. He's good defensively. He's good around the, you know, inside. You know, you can't stop him. They got nobody to stop him. Milwaukee, I mean, it's going to be a tough battle with Kawhi
here's
for sure.
The other thing on Giannis is, look, I don't know all the salary cap ramifications, to be honest with you. I'm not going to pretend I do. But doesn't Milwaukee become a destination for the running mate, the second superstar? Because that's how that's the way it works in the NBA now. It's a league of super teams where free agents gravitate toward where they can be on an instant powerhouse. They're not going to none of these free agents are going will go over here and try and be the nucleus for a winner. They want to be on a team that's poised to make a run at a championship right away. So, I mean, I'm looking at it, and again, I don't know the salary cap stuff. So maybe there's no openings, but to me, Milwaukee looks like a great destination now for somebody who might not necessarily want the showbiz spotlight.
Which he has to, because he's going to be Robin to Batman. You have to have you have to have the mentality to accept that role. And there's a lot of guys in the NBA that they can't accept that.
When you look at Kevin Durant, who accepted it, he's going to be moving on now in all likelihood, but he certainly accepted it for the last couple of years with the Warriors, and chances are he's going to have 2 rings to show for it. So it's not a bad way to go. And Durant, I mean, Curry is the celebrity on the team, and Klay Thompson's probably second. Durant's an incredible player, but he went there with 2 guys already established as monster superstars. So he wasn't all about grabbing the spotlight. I think there's plenty of guys out there who don't have the overwhelming desire or need to be the guy and would be happy to be the Robin to Giannis's Batman. Don't you? I mean,
and this is a young team that think of how, they could be, I don't want to use the word dynasty, but they're going to be relevant for several years with this group.
If Golden State loses a couple of cogs, we don't know if Cousins is going to be back at all.
Right.
Durant supposedly is going to be someplace else.
Draymond Green, you don't know.
I think Thompson's going to stay, but that's just my opinion. So their run, I'm not saying they're going to fall off the map, but their run could be coming to an end. It's been an amazing run. But it could be that somebody else might inherit the mantelpiece next year. Why not Milwaukee? And here's the thing. It's not like Oakland is the media capital of the universe.
No.
And yet they've been the center of the NBA universe for 5 years now. So the market doesn't automatically dictate it. Doesn't have to be L.A. or New York. It can be Oakland, and it can be Milwaukee.
Yeah, Golden State's not going to be technically Oakland anymore.
They'll be San Francisco.
Yeah.
But it's still...
There's a big difference in crossing the bridge.
And the thing is, even there, the Bay Area is not the mecca of the sports universe. Never has been.
No.
It's a good market. There's no question about that.
There's money in San Francisco.
But there's better markets. Yeah. Okay, you can't tell me. Boston's a great market. New York's a great market. There's a lot of great markets out there. And anybody can be a big market if the players are there. And Milwaukee, by the way, is a very strong fan base. And we've seen that in baseball they're willing to spend to contend. And it's worked pretty well, I'd say. So, little Milwaukee does all right in terms of producing winners. I don't know. It's interesting. It's food for thought. And speaking of Golden State, they now get to play the Portland Trailblazers. And I wrote this today. Look, there's no such thing as moral victories.
No.
So, I mean, if Portland makes this a series and loses, I don't think they're going to be particularly thrilled about it. But from our vantage point, we can look at it and say, boy, if Portland can extend it to maybe 6 games or something like that, heck of a job, Blazers. I don't know if they can. I suspect they won't.
The first game's going to be very interesting. We're going to talk about these games a little later, more detail previewing them. But I'm curious to see the mindset of Golden State coming out in Game 1 after, the battle with Houston and then losing Durant, and playing the one game without him, and Curry finally had to,
And they'll still be without Durant for at least Game 1 and probably Game 2.
Yeah, and Curry did nothing in the first half.
Unbelievable.
Nothing.
He goes over the total, his personal total.
Yeah.
He goes over after scoring 0 in the first half.
Yeah. So this will be, if there's a letdown spot, there is a letdown spot for Golden State in this first game. Give Portland credit. They were down almost the whole game against Denver.
Yep.
And I don't think Denver had lost the game at home this year when they went to the fourth quarter with
Correct.
the lead.
They were 100% when leading after 3 quarters.
And, and you couldn't pick a worse time to break that streak in a Game 7. So, Portland's got, they've got some confidence going right now. They've played 2 different styles of basketball in the 2 series. They played Oklahoma City that was up and down the floor, not a lot of defense. Then they have to shift gears and play a Denver team that did play some defense, although even though the games until the last one went over the total, there was a much more defensive presence. Now with Golden State, they're going to get a little bit of both. Golden State can go up and down the floor, and when they want to, you saw what they did against Houston in Game 6. They can play some defense, and shut down some players. So it's going to be an interesting series. It's a big number, though. Oh, my.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of big numbers, a few of those on the diamond tonight. It's a short schedule, but we're going to start breaking down the games. We will do that by heading into the Monday edition of the M.J. Christensen 4 at 4.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
Put them fours up. Put the fours up, I said. Do it right now.
Tonight's action is just around the bend, and the guys want to get your night off to a great start.
4.
It's the Las Vegas Sportsline's 4 at 4.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Unbelievable.
Still keeping an eye on this one. Freddie Peralta's listed as the starting pitcher for Milwaukee, but they could go the opener route. So check that one if you're listing pitchers. He will be on the mound for the Brewers at some point tonight, and he'll go against Aaron Nola, who after a slow start for the Phillies is starting to round into Aaron Nola form. And the Brewers coming out of the Sunday night game and having to travel to Philadelphia, so you've got that angle. But the odds makers know that, and you're going to have to pay a pretty steep price if you want to back the Phillies in this one.
Yeah, well, it goes to Nola right now, as you said. He's dealing it right now. Last 3 starts, he's only given up 3 runs in 18 and third innings after that slow start. But Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee, he's been beaten like a piñata. His last 5 starts, he's got an ERA of 8.31 and a whip of 1.75. You can't put nearly 2 guys an inning on base and get away with it. And that's what he's doing right now. It is the first game off of a road trip for Philadelphia, so they did have to come back east off of their road trip. I lean to Philadelphia in this one, and the stat here with Aaron Nola, when he pitches at home and he's going on normal rest, 5 or 6 days rest, they're 18-3 in his 21 home starts. I lean to Philly, but boy, the price is high.
It is. Freddie Peralta is one of those enigmatic guys because if you watch him pitch, when he's got command of his fastball, he's able to change speeds on it, change location on it, and it can be really difficult to hit. The problem is he doesn't have another pitch, basically. And if he's not reliable as far as his command goes. He's a guy you kind of got to look at early on and make a decision based on what you see as to whether he's got it on this particular night or he doesn't. If he doesn't have it, you can line up in the live betting and lay an alternate run price if you want, or lay like 2.5 runs and take a shot that way. If he's got his stuff, the Brewers become a very live dog against anybody because he can go out there and with the right stuff give you 6 or 7 innings and then give way to the monster in the bullpen,
which is
Josh
available
Hader.
tonight.
Yep, he's available, and that is a big part of any handicap involving the Milwaukee Brewers. To me, it's a stay away. I don't want to go against Nola in this spot. And the Brewers are off the Sunday night game, having to travel, and it was off a series with the Cubs, and that's their biggest rival as well. So the Brewers have been playing good ball lately, but I don't know that I'd want them in this spot. Astros taking on the Tigers, and just look at what that team did yesterday. They send the first-time pitcher, Martin, to the mound. He got a lot of run support. George Springer is playing. He's just killing the baseball right now. He's the MVP at this point in the American League. Alex Bregman. Those 2 guys at the top of the lineup yesterday had like 20 RBIs between them. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And granted, they were against a bad pitcher, but you still have to hit the baseball. But tonight, it'll be a more difficult assignment for the Astros because they face a guy who's pitching at a really high level. Matt Boyd's had made 8 starts this year. All 8 have been good starts for the Tigers. He's just legitimately tough. I wouldn't be running to the window to lay a price here against Boyd, even with a good pitcher the other way for Houston, and the fact the team is just crushing the baseball right now. Yeah, the Tigers, despite a crappy run differential, and we'll talk more about that in a real, unreal thing we've got coming up. But, they're only 2 games under 500, and when Boyd pitches, they've got a chance to win every game. This is a tough call because I don't want to go against a Houston team that is just killing the baseball right now. But I'm not going against Matt Boyd, and especially not laying a price against Matt Boyd. And Brad Peacock, by the way, you really don't know. Well, he's either been real good or real bad so far this season. Real good version showed up last start. What happens if the real bad version shows up tonight? If it does, and you got Boyd on the other side, an upset looms.
Well, in that last start, Dave, Peacock changed his delivery.
Yep.
He pitched from the full windup from the start in that game, and he had his command that we know from him that he can do. So if he can duplicate that,